Hello, good to see you again. This is our last video, so I wanted to thank you so much for participating in the project. I'll be coming out some in the next couple of weeks to talk to you about your experiences with the project. So today is the last day, and therefore we're going to focus on small details like the things you do when you're editing, when you go back and look through your paragraph. The first thing to consider is the use of the word I. I can be used in all kinds of writing. Obviously, when you're texting or when you're emailing and when you're writing narratives and things like that. But in this particular type of writing, the open-ended response, you typically don't use the word I. You typically say, the author states, or it can be inferred that. And inferred means you can read the literal meaning of the words, and then it makes you think, oh, okay, well, the obvious conclusion to draw is blah, blah, blah. So it can be inferred that, or the author states. Keep in mind, if you do use the word I, always, always, always capitalize it, okay? And when you're texting and stuff, no big deal. But any kind of school-based writing, you're going to need to capitalize the letter I for talking about yourself. Okay. So the second piece of advice for editing is the title of the text. Now, it's not required that you include the title of the text in your paragraph, but many of you like to do that. So when you do, just be sure that you punctuate it correctly. So how do you punctuate a title? When you're writing about the title of a text, you always put it in quotation marks like this. And secondly, it follows the rules of capitalization. So you capitalize always the first word, and you capitalize every other word that's longer than 5 letters. So you can see that the word of is less than 5 letters. So why, since face is only 4 letters, why is it capitalized? Because that rule about the number of letters only applies to small words. And I don't know how much you've studied about the names of these, but things like prepositions, in, of, over, under, about. But nouns, like face, it doesn't matter how many letters they are. You want to capitalize it, okay? And of course, America is always capitalized because it's the name of a country. So if you do include a title in your paragraph, be sure to punctuate it correctly. Last piece of advice is also about punctuation. This is a review, pure review. Oops, what number? Number 3. This is just a review. We talked about this before, but it's tricky with punctuation because we don't always write using quotation marks. So when you are using quotation marks, I've had some questions come up. I wanted to help you out again. You can say it in basically 2 ways to introduce a quotation. The text states that, open quotation marks, blah, 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 period, close quotation marks. So notice that this punctuation mark, the period, comes before your ending quotation marks. And also notice that there is no comma here because you have the word that, all right? So the text states that, blah, 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 no pause, no comma. However, if you leave out the word that, you need a comma. The text states, comma, open quotation, blah, 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 period, close quotation. So this comma substitutes for the word that. So you don't need the word that if you have a comma, but you do need a comma if you don't have the word that. So again, these are details. These are small details that you do at the very end of your writing to make sure it's polished. All right, so I'll look forward to reading it, and you have a great week. Bye.